Hello, welcome in. I can see a few of you joining. Okay, just take a moment to settle in. We'll begin in a few minutes. In the meantime, where are you all joining from today? Please mention. I would love to know. Bangalore. Hi, Infinity Rajesh. Good to see you here. Please type in which city you belong to. So, before we begin, let me ask you something very simple. How has your day been in one word? Type just one word in the chat. Let me start. Mine was wonderful. So now, your turn. Just type one word in the chat to explain how was your day till now. We will start in few seconds. Mhm. I'm sure it's Monday, so it would be tiring, busy. All right. So, okay. I'm still waiting for your responses. We still have 1 minute to start. Today's conversation is something very subtle, yet extremely real. So, if you are probably in a state where you have ever felt slightly off without knowing why, stay with me. Great, very good. Someone said it was very good. I'm glad. All right, so let's start. So, I'm really glad all of you are here. And over the last few days, we have been slowly understanding something deeper. So, if you have been with me, day one was why you feel stuck, then what your triggers are trying to tell you, and yesterday, why your mind keeps overthinking. And also, for people who are joining me for the first time today, I am Ishita Bakchi. I'm a life coach specializing in emotional intelligence, a counseling psychologist, a DMIT counselor, and I also work with healing practices like pranic healing, Reiki, and crystal healing. And what this really allows me to do is help people understand themselves at a deeper level. Not just their thoughts alone, also their patterns, their emotions, what's actually driving them from within. So instead of just trying to manage life on the outside, you begin to understand what happening on the inside. Are you with me? And that's where the real clarity begins, right? Understanding yourself from inside. Today, I want to gently take you to the part of this that often goes unnoticed. Something that doesn't show up loudly, however, shape, shapes how you feel, how you decide, and how you experience your life. It's a quiet kind of distance, a distance from yourself. Not dramatic, not something you feel in small everyday moments, right? Like something that is, you know, around you. However, something that you face every day. So before we go ahead, just pause for a second. When was the last time you felt fully in sync with yourself? Try to be extremely honest because here it's a space where we talk to each other, be honest to ourselves. When was the last time you felt fully in sync with yourself? Where what you were doing, what you were feeling, and what you were thinking were all aligned. Because for many people, that alignment slowly starts breaking. That's where this question arises. Like you could be sitting in a conversation saying the right things. However, inside you, you are somewhere else. You could be working on something extremely important, and your mind is wandering somewhere else. And your body just feels tired. Maybe another extremity is you agree to something when a part of you quietly says a big no, I don't agree. And you know what happens then? That small moment when you ignore what you feel doesn't disappear. It creates a gap, a void, a gap between what's true for you and how you are actually living. And when this happens repeatedly, you don't suddenly feel lost. You just start feeling slightly off, like simply unclear, a little disconnected. Not because something is wrong in your life. I always say there is nothing wrong in your life. It's something we have not been explored. However, because something is no longer fully aligned with you, that's what we are going to understand today. If that question made you think, stay with me. Are you with me? So, most people don't walk around saying, I feel disconnected from myself. Have you? I haven't faced this. Have you ever faced anybody saying a friend that, oh, I am not feeling connected with myself? They will rather say something like this: I don't know what I want anymore. Or say, I feel off and I can't explain why. I am doing things, and yet nothing really feels strong inside. And on the outside, they are functioning, working, socializing, showing up wherever is needed. And inside, again, I will say there's a subtle distance, like you're present, yet not fully connected to what you're doing. And this doesn't happen suddenly, it builds slowly, brick by brick. When you start ignoring what you truly feel, overriding what you really need, and adapting to what's expected. Agree? So, leading to internal quiet gap. That's what happens with this slow buildup that we allow for ourselves. Let me share something real. Like, I want to share something from my own journey. There was a time when I had become very good at managing life. I could handle responsibilities, respond to people, make decisions, everything looked composed. However, what I didn't notice immediately was how disconnected I had become from my own internal signals. I remember a phase where my days were full, yet they felt strangely empty at the same time. I would move from one task to another, finish things, tick things off. Like I still maintain that. I am a pen and paper person. I keep a track of everything I do every day. I always tick off things. And then at the end of the day, I reflect. But there was no sense of completion inside, in spite of ticking all the to do things for the day. No emotional involvement, no depth of experience. And one moment that really stayed with me was this: I had achieved something I had been working towards. And surprisingly, I was supposed to feel proud, maybe happy, joyous, peaceful. There was just silence inside. There was no excitement, no satisfaction. And that's when it hit me really hard. It wasn't that life was lacking something. I slowly stopped being present with myself in my own life. It's a real, deep line that I just said. I just stopped being present with myself in my own life. And what I understood later through my work in emotional intelligence and this kind of disconnection doesn't happen in one big moment. Like it happens in small, almost invisible ways. And when you move ahead without checking how you feel, choose what you're expected over what feels true, keep adjusting every time without pausing. And over time, you stop noticing your own responses. You stop trusting your signals. And slowly, you stop feeling fully connected to your own experiences. Does this resonate with you? If yes, try to put some word in the chat. I would love to know. Even if you're watching this in the later period, you can put whatever you feel during that moment. Put it in the chat. It's kind of an acceptance that, yes, this is something I have been feeling. You will feel lighter. And you don't lose yourself in one moment. You lose touch in many those small moments. And that's what this looks like. Life continues, you continue, and something within you feels slightly distant. Not loud enough to alarm you. However, strongly present enough to feel it when you pause. Mhm. Now, let's understand this a little deeper, not just emotionally, but scientifically. What does disconnection mean psychologically? In psychology, this relates to something called self alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are not in sync, you start feeling internally disconnected. There's also a concept called interoceptive awareness. your ability to sense what's happening inside your body. And when this reduces, you lose access to your own signals. So, let us talk about those five subtle signs you have lost connection with yourself. The first one, that's what I have faced. Like, you struggle with simple decisions. You spend too much time deciding small things, not because they are difficult, because you don't feel clear inside. And when you are disconnected, your prefrontal cortex, you know, works harder because it lacks emotional input from within. The second one is you feel emotionally flat, or you can say numb. Like, you are not extremely sad, and or rather you are also not deeply joyful. Something like, if something very exciting happens, you're still have a blank face. And if something extremely sad or something destructive you feel come across, it still doesn't shake you. Everything feels neutral, flat. And that is called chronic emotional suppression. Reduce our ability, or say activity, in emotional processing areas, making you feel less connected to feelings over time. That's highly dangerous, I would say. And that would add up to a lot of other issues that we don't realize. Hence, we often say that, sometimes we hear from parents that kid doesn't love learning this. They don't want to sit, they don't want to enjoy what they're doing. So there are a lot of reasons, scientific reasons behind it. We often don't want or don't feel need to reveal that. The third point is you rely on others to validate your choices. You keep asking, is this right what you think? Because internally you don't feel certain. This is linked to reduced self referential processing. Your brain relies more on external input than internal signals. Are you with me? If this resonates, please try to put up some words in the chat. Acknowledge. And the fourth point is you feel restless even when life is fine. Means like, if everything is working fine, arey, why is it like this? Nothing is wrong. However, something doesn't feel settled. It's a simple way to explain. This comes from mild nervous system dysregulation. Your system is not fully at ease, even in safest situations. And fifth, and the last point, you don't know what you truly want anymore. This is the deepest one. You have followed expectations for so long, you have stopped hearing your own voice. You stop listening to your own inner calling. That's called when interoceptive awareness reduces, your ability to identify personal desire weakens. We try to live others' expectation. Again, this connection is not losing yourself, it's losing access to yourself. And the more you ignore it, the harder it becomes to hear yourself again. Hence, these all pointers are very important for us to see, find, am I facing any of these symptoms, rather, so that we don't lose ourselves again. So let's do something together. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would like to know, put it in the chat. How connected do you feel to yourself right now? Don't think, don't overthink, just feel. Close your eyes maybe for a second, take a deep breathe in and exhale, and ask yourself, am I really connected to myself right now? Mhm. Now ask yourself, where do I feel mostly disconnected? What is it like? What is it that where you feel mostly disconnected? Is it like my emotions, my decisions, my directions, or my sense of self? I want to hear that one word. Pause and ask yourself, what is something that is not connected, um, that makes you feel off? And lastly, one more question. That is another thing which you have to be very true to yourself. When was the last time you truly checked in with yourself without distraction? Did you check yourself? Hey, how you are keeping? What you're feeling? Is it something? It looks maybe funny, but that's something very much important to know what you're feeling from inside without any distraction, without any uh, pressure, influence, anything. This is where reconnection begins, not by fixing, only by noticing deeply. So these are the three questions, yeah, which you can always look for yourself. Ask yourself, sit quiet moment, sit quietly at one place and then look for those answers. It's very important we know where we are actually feeling disconnected, which part of it. That will make a lot of things simpler, you know, clear. Clarity begins there. So I want to leave you with this. Most people spend years trying to figure out their life without realizing they have lost connection with the one person who has those answers. Not your mom, not your dad, not your siblings, not your partner, nobody else. Yourself. That is, you have lost connection to yourself. And clarity doesn't come from doing more. I keep on telling that. You overthink a lot, you won't get a solution. You do a lot, it will not make your things work. You have to connect it. You have to, start. It becomes easier when you start reconnecting first. And that's the process of understanding yourself, your patterns, and third, your internal signals. Because I always tell to my clients that you get signals. Sometimes your body, sometimes something or the other in a different way will notify you. But we completely ignore that. And I also agree this is not so easy, and it is not always easy for everyone to do it alone. That's where the work I do becomes extremely meaningful. I would like to say this. It's high time we need to bring this awareness. It's not something, a problem we are trying to fix. It's something we are trying to work on ourselves, which is most important thing. A space where you don't have to perform. You just get to understand yourself clearly. If something, you know, feels off, or something from today's session you felt like, yes, this is what is I have been going through for a while, this is the space where you can actually freely, you know, comfortably discuss. Mhm. So, if something in today's session made you pause or reflect in a way you haven't before, you can reach out, or explore the link which is mentioned in the description through Topmate. No pressure. This will just be a space to reconnect with yourself, to understand things better. I would also understand what actually is the root cause of everything. You don't need to become someone new. That's not needed. You just need to come back to yourself, to your true self. We all deserve that, right? With this, I would like to sign off for today. Thank you so much for being here. See you tomorrow. Bye.